All right, so today I want to talk about anxiety, something I deal with every single day. My anxiety gets really bad at times. It's getting better. I'm not having horrible panic attacks like I used to all the time, so that's good. But there's still like this just baseline level of just anxiety. Like, how do I describe it? I feel like I'm always on edge. I'm always like keyed up. My heart rate is always up, and I feel like shaky. And whenever I have to do anything, I just get really anxious about it. For the longest time, anytime I had to do something that involved just anything that would make me anxious, I would take benzos, I would drink alcohol. Like, even just making videos, like I would take a lot of benzos. Benzos are benzodiazepine, so Ativan, Xanax, that kind of thing. I would take them before I would do anything, before I go outside, for instance, because I have agoraphobia. Before I go outside, I would drink a little. I would take my Ativan, which is it's not a good combination. It's not good to mix alcohol with benzodiazepines, but I was desperate. My anxiety is just that bad. I'll do it whatever I can to avoid that anxiety, those palpitations, that keyed up feeling, that feeling that I want to run away from wherever I am and just lock myself in my room and just deep breathe for a while. That feeling. And it got to the point where even if there was like something that it made me anxious but it wasn't panic attack bad, I would still take the Ativan. Something that it could give me anxiety, not horrible anxiety, but I'd rather not experience it, so I'll just take an Ativan. And I've been doing that, and I did that, and I took from 3 to 10 milligrams of Ativan every day. After a while, my psychiatrist actually cut my level to 1 milligram as needed. So when I told her that, hey, I have a lot of anxiety, that's why I need that medicine, she was like, anxiety is normal. Everybody gets anxiety. And I swear my mind was like blown. I was like, really? Everybody gets anxiety? Like, people say, oh, I'm getting anxious and stuff. But I didn't really think about it. I just knew that I had anxiety, so I should take anxiety medication. She was like, no, anxiety is normal. Not panic attack level anxiety, just anxiety in general, just the feeling of anxiety. It's normal. People without mental illnesses even have anxiety. And I was like, wow, damn. So what I'm gonna try to do now that I have that information and just straight up less medication to take, I can only take 1 milligram a day, if at that, is to just get used to living with discomfort, living with the palpitations. Because if I just, and I've learned this because I don't have all that medication now, if I just expose myself to it and just give myself time, be patient with myself, the palpitations start to go away. Anxiety starts to quell on its own, even without medicine. Now, don't get me wrong, I can still take anxiety medication. I'm just trying not to rely solely on anxiety medication. And, it's not going to be easy. There's going to be a lot of discomfort, because I used to pop them like nobody's business, and I would drink all the time too. I'm trying not to drink too much. I still do drink sometimes, but I try not to drink as much as I did back in the day. Back in the day, I couldn't go a day without drinking. Now it's like I drink when I want to go out, which is probably wrong, just to spend time with people. I feel like I have to drink. It shouldn't be that way. I should work on that. It's hard. I don't like anxiety. It's not a good feeling. It makes me so tense and like, I don't like it. And if there's something I can do to alleviate it, which in my situation have been the alcohol and the benzos, then I'll do it. Because I don't want to feel like this. I don't want to feel like this if I don't have to. But apparently I have to. Apparently it's normal. If I have a panic attack, which I don't have too many of those anymore, but if I do, then I'll take one. But just because I'm going outside doesn't mean I need to drink or take pills or anything like that. I'll still take all of my medication, the antipsychotics and stuff like that. I'll keep taking that, no problem. But because the Ativan is as needed, I don't need to take it every day. I don't need to rely on drugs to feel calm. There are some drugs I do rely on, like my antidepressants and stuff. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about not relying on alcohol and benzos. Because for the longest time, that's all I did. That's all I knew. You know, every day before work, I would take a bunch, drink a little, and I just don't like feeling uncomfortable. It's not a good feeling. It makes me want to run into my room and just like be away from people and just keep to myself. And it's been doing that. I've been keeping to myself because every time I go out, I get the anxiety. So I drink and I take the benzos, but it's just so much easier that way. But you know what? It's not supposed to be easy. It's not going to be easy. But it'll be rewarding not having to rely on drugs and booze and stuff. It needs to be done. Another thing that would make me really anxious, and still does, is just eating too much. So I'll like eat and eat and eat and feel really guilty. And then after I feel guilty, then it's followed by like really bad anxiety. Not panic attack bad, but still very uncomfortable. Makes me want to run to my room and just hide and breathe and like it's bad. And because of that, I would reach for an Ativan and be like, okay, well, it's part of dinner, you know. I'll have some chocolate and I'll have some Ativan and I'll have some ice cream. That's dinner. So I'm trying not to do that. I'm trying to expose myself little by little to things that make me anxious, and then trying to get through them without any medication. Nothing too intense. Like going outside makes me anxious. I never go outside alone. That's not something I'm able to do in this time. But I go out with my brother and I go out with my sister and we walk around and we do all that stuff without taking any anxiety medication. And you know, at first getting outside there, stepping out, that takes a lot out of me. It really does. But once I'm out for like a few minutes, you know, I start to calm down. The anxiety goes away without any medication. It just goes away on its own through exposure. Same with eating. I'm trying to not eat so much that I feel guilty in the first place. I'll just eat, and even if I feel anxious afterwards, I live with it. I tell myself, okay, this feeling is gonna go away on its own. Just relax. And after a while, it does. It actually goes away. So, yeah, I'm really working on living with discomfort. Anxiety is not comfortable. I'm sure a lot of you guys have anxiety. You know it's not comfortable. And, you know, I was at the point where I do anything not to feel it because it's so uncomfortable. But I guess I'm gonna have to live with the discomfort because my doctor said anxiety is normal. Panic attacks aren't. If I have a panic attack, I'm taking my Ativan. That's what it's for. But not for little things anymore. Big things maybe, but little things like stepping outside or eating something, like, you don't need to drug yourself just to do those things, you know? So I'm not gonna take them for those. And I've been doing okay. I say okay, but I mean the last time I went out with someone, I was drinking and it was pretty bad. We went out to see a movie, and then whenever I go out with people, I always take them, like if we have to go on like a date, if you call it a date, whatever, I always take them to the movies because then I don't have to talk. Like I don't have to say anything and we still spend time together. And I'll just watch the movie. So we went to a movie and that was fine, and I didn't need any alcohol, didn't need any Ativan. It was fine. It wasn't until we got back to his place that I was like starting to feel anxious, and I didn't want to embarrass myself in front of the guy, have a panic attack or something, you know? So I started drinking, and then I just drank and drank, and I don't even remember what happened. I just remember waking up at home with my clothes on backwards and my underwear missing. I don't know what he did to me, if he did nothing to me, and just maybe I took off my clothes myself, but why would I put them on backwards? Well, anyway, that I wouldn't have to think about all that stuff if I hadn't drank, you know? That was a mistake. That was a huge mistake on my part. And I need to learn to push through that anxiety if I ever want to go out with somebody again, because I can't have that happening again. I don't know what happened. I don't know. what that guy did to me, or if he didn't do anything to me. I never gave him my address, so I don't even know how I got home. I just was home all of a sudden, my clothes on backwards. So from now on, I guess I'm just gonna have to grit my teeth and try and push through it. I'm not always gonna be able to do that, I know that. I'll still keep taking the Ativan, but I'm gonna try and cut back on the alcohol a lot more, because that's ridiculous. I don't like getting drunk, but I do it because I don't want to get anxious. I'd rather be drunk than anxious. But then I make a fool out of myself when I get drunk, and that's not cool. I'm gonna at least try not to rely solely on benzos and alcohol. That doesn't mean they're off limits. I'm gonna try pushing through it without medication first. And then if that doesn't work and I'm still anxious and I waited, let's say like an hour, for instance, just trying to push through it and I can't, then I'll take the anxiety medication. But not, oh, well, I'm going to eat, so I might as well take one now. Oh, we're going to the store, well, might as well take one now, just to not feel any anxiety at all. I'll have to get used to having some anxiety. It's gonna take some getting used to, but I don't really have a choice because they cut off the medication. So I gotta do this. If you guys deal with anxiety and you have tips for me, please put them in the comments below, because this sucks. This sucks, okay? I don't like it. I know I can't rely on drugs for everything. It's really hard and it's really uncomfortable. So just living with that discomfort. If you guys have any advice for me on that kind of stuff, please put them in the comments, because I read all my comments. What works for you? I can try to white knuckle it, but that's a lot easier said than done when it's actually happening to you and you're feeling that anxiety. I'm not feeling anxious now, so I'm fine. But I know once I get anxious, all I want is to escape that state of mind, that feeling. I just want to eradicate it. So it's just so easy to reach for the pills or reach for the alcohol, but I can't do that anymore. So yeah, any tips would really be appreciated. I guess that's all I have to say for now. Like I said, any advice is appreciated. You can put it in the comments. Let's do this. Let's beat anxiety, you know? And if we can't, let's live with anxiety. Let's live with the discomfort. Because the more you do it, at least what I've noticed, the more I push through this anxiety, the easier it gets the next time. Like I said, I used to have to drink and pop pills just to step outside of my house. I don't anymore. You know, I still have to be with somebody because I still get anxious, but it's not as bad as it used to be. So if I can get to a place where like all aspects of my life are like that, where I don't need pills, then I can only take them when I have panic attacks. And that's fine with me. That's not like being dependent on them. So yeah, let me know. And I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you guys. Bye.